We are back for some more Touring Car Legend action. It's the Autobrite Touring Car Legends. We are at Le Mans for round number 3 of the AM and the Pro-Am category. Back on the Bugatti circuit, not the full Circuit de la Sarthe, but this 2.4 mile circuit is going to play host to two 14-lap races tonight. With average speeds around 81 miles an hour, they're sure to be fast and frenetic. The AM and the Pro-Am Championships look a little bit like this. Kenty leads the Pro-Ams on 2:41 with UKG Crony about 20 points back in second. Just 2 points in hand over Robster in the Alfa Romeo in third, with Retro Rixie on 2:13 in the BMW. Ninja Goat makes it 4 brands in the top 5 of the Pro-Am Championship on 195. Topping the AM Championship is KB Racing in the Volvo, with Maddie's dog Pete over 50 points behind in second. Then it's really close for second and third, with Devil's Boogeyman and Sir Nuts separated by just a single point, with It's Noodles in the Nissan rounding out the field on 56 points. Before we go racing, there is the small matter of qualifying, so let's head down to the grid to see how it all played out. So it was the Alfa Romeo of Robster who scored pole position with the BMW of Retro Rixie alongside Crony. Makes it 3 brands of the top 3, with Kenty in the Alfa Romeo filling out row number 2. Row 3 sees Ninja Goat and Angry Unicorn filling out the third row. Row 4 is Cubs and Rob Racer in the Sierra. Row 5 is KB Racing in the Volvo and Penfold in the Alfa Romeo. Row 6 is Maddie's dog Pete with a brand new matte black livery alongside Devil's Boogeyman. Row 7 is Mills and White and DI Boar in the Volvo. Row 8 is Sir Nuts and JGK Menine sporting a brand new livery in the Sierra, and rounding out the grid is It's Noodles in the Skyline. So now we know the grid, it's time to go racing for round number 5 of the Autobrite Direct Touring Car Legends. Good start there from the Alfa Romeo. The BMW's been left for dead though, as Robster's fired off into the distance. Rixie now under pressure from Kenty straight away. Looks like Crony's got a good start. Look at the lead the Alfa Romeo's got already. Those Alphas are ridiculously fast starting. Used to seeing rear-wheel drive touring cars go well. That's what happens when you've got 4-wheel drive versus rear-wheel drive. Kent in the Alphas trying to go around the outside of Rixie. Rixie just hangs on. Crony's in that fight as well, just behind, on board with Rixie, heading under the Dunlop Bridge. And it looks like Robster is already checked out at the front. There's at least a good 1.5, maybe 2 seconds gap to Rixie in the BMW just behind. While you've got Crony, and it looks like you've got a couple of other cars going side by side further behind, but Crony and Kenty going at it over third place initially. Massive lock up there from Rixie, lock up from Crony. That might give Kenty the breathing room to be able to go for the move for second place straight away. The Alfa Romeo locks into the back of that BMW, heading down towards the bottom part of the circuit before we double back onto the back straight. Hard at the brakes, Kenty goes for the lunge down the inside. That was a late braking move if I ever saw one, and just gets the move into second place. But will Rixie be able to get the power down and get the cut back? Not quite. That 4-wheel drive Alfa hauls itself out of the corner and straight down the straight. On board with Crony now, looking at the back over Rixie. So Rixie's already lost 1 position off the start. He might be about to lose another. Lock up from Robster at the front, so he's pushing quite hard early on to build a gap. Lock up from Rixie, he's pushing quite hard to try and get second place back. That's going to bring Crony back into this fight. Crony in the Nissan going for a podium. This will be one of the first times he's got himself to the podium. He's really good at a late braking lunge, but he doesn't quite get it stopped there. The 395 for BMW slots into third place now. Kenty just up in front, Crony there just behind him. So this is not going to be an easy race for Rixie. He's already got to look at his mirrors while trying to attack that Alfa Romeo in front of him. A little bit behind Crony, we've got Cubs as well now under pressure. Cubs just looks like he's clipped the gravel there. He's now under pressure from Unicorn and the Bastos Sierra. Those Sierras have gone pretty well, but luck has not been on their side throughout a few of the races. They got tangled up in a first lap incident, and they're about to get tangled up again. I was going to say they got tangled up in a first lap incident at Bathurst. They very nearly caused a second lap incident here at Le Mans. They're still rubbing paint as they head down towards the Dunlop chicane, and you've got Ninja in that one as well. And it looks like Pete and DI Boar are trying to get into that fight as well, but Cubs just hangs on to the Sierra. The gap already building. Look behind, that Volvo's already getting past the Alfa Romeo in front. He's trying to throw a dive on the Sierra, doesn't quite get close enough. The front wheel drive car definitely not getting the power down quite as easily as the rear wheel drive Sierra, but the Volvos are pretty quick in a straight line despite how boxy those things are. Pete as well is having a good run as well. He's been a little bit off the pace the first couple of rounds, certainly found his feet in the championship so far now. He's got past Ninja Goat in the Volvo. There's the Volvo dropping down a position, the Alfa moving up a position. You can see the novice cross on the back of the Alfa Romeo, but the Volvo comes back at him. Ninja goes back down the inside. Runs a little bit wide though, Pete's still there, and this is going to bring Bohr into this fight as well. Bohr's a seasoned veteran in the Team Hard Online touring, in the Team Hard Online series, so expect to see some decent racecraft from him. On board with Pete now, he's going to have Bohr on the inside of him. Those Volvos are pretty quick down the straight, and you can see exactly how quick they are as he's already got in front of Pete in the matte black Alfa Romeo. Back at the front, you've got Rixie trying to get back on terms with Crony. Crony dragged past the inside of the BMW, but he's running a little bit wide in the chicane. That's how the Beamer to get back down around the outside, and he's got the position back, so Rixie back into second place. But that Skyline and Crony have been really good at the braking. We saw him in the touring cars. He was a fan of a last braking lunge, so don't count him out from a long way back. He's already got the nose down the inside, heading into the final couple of corners. It becomes the outside, so he's thought a little bit better of it, but he's still there. He's still around the outside. This would be a good move if he can pull this off. Not quite. He thinks better of it. Tucks back into the slipstream. He's going to think about moving to turn number 1, but you've got to factor in now, Cubs is getting into this fight as well. Crony on the inside. Rixie slams across the front of him to try and stop that Nissan getting in front of the BMW. Heading down the back straight into turn 1, heading towards the Dunlop chicane to put another lap in the books. Crony throws it down the inside, tiniest little bit of a lock up there, and the Skyline doesn't quite have the grunt to get back in front of the BMW. So the Beamer under the Dunlop brakes just holds on to second place. All of this is allowing Robster to clear off in the distance at the front. So Rixie still hangs on to second place. Crony still in third, and Cubs now catching up for fourth. Looks like you've got Ninja and the Unicorn going at it again, heading down into the bottom end of the circuit. Ninja from a long way back tries it, locks up, doesn't quite get the car stopped in time to get it turned in. And Unicorn hangs on, but he gets the power down too early. Lights the rear wheels up of that Sierra. That's the downside of running a rear wheel drive car in this championship compared to the front wheel drive Volvos and the all-wheel drive Alphas. It looks like at the front, Cubs has tried to dive on Crony, but now Goat's trying to dive on Unicorn in the Sierra down the straight. This is where the Volvos are strong. He's got the slipstream now, that massive box carving a massive wedge in the air. The Volvos have a decent amount of power, and they're able to get it down to the road in a straight line. Not so good in the corners. A few drivers been a little bit vocal of that, as it looks like Crony's trying to throw a move on Rixie now to get back into second place. The Skyline definitely getting the power down a little bit better this time. He's closer than he was last time round. Still doesn't quite get the move done into that part of the circuit. Rixie just hangs on. He's holding Crony on the outside of him, but the outside of that corner becomes the inside of the next two. Crony has to back out of it though. He thinks about going for a lunge, gets right onto the rear bumper of the BMW, but doesn't quite get the move done. So Rixie just hanging on, heading to put another lap in the book. The BMW just hanging on for second place against the Skyline. But that Skyline is clearly quicker. It's snapping at his heels, trying to get past him, going back on board with Crony now, heading through pretty much flat out turn 1, up towards the Dunlop chicane. Taking a little bit of a wide line in there, doesn't get the car over to the right hand side quite enough. Using all of the curbs to try and Rixie's off, he's gone past, so Crony's into second place. Rixie's messed at the brake in there. So we'll have to take another look, see what happened there, but Crony now up into second place thanks to a little bit of a mistake there from Rixie. So applying the pressure has definitely paid dividends for Crony there, as Rixie's now down in position. But let's go on board with the BMW and see what happened. Heading through turn number 1, heading down towards the Dunlop chicane. It looks like he's just missed his braking point. He's gone straight on. Done well to get the car stopped as quickly as he did, but it wasn't quick enough to try and hold the position, and he's lost one place there to Crony. So Cubs now is trying to get past Rixie for the final podium paying position. A little bit of a lock up for the BMW, might be a little bit flustered after that mistake which allowed him to lose one position. Cubs now right on the rear bumper, filling that rear view mirror of the BMW full of that black Alfa Romeo. Heading down towards the double right-hander before we head onto the back straight to get in towards the final sector. Another lock up for the BMW. The Alfa sends it down the inside. Like the Stampan sent it there, did Cubs. We just got the position, and that's Cubs up onto the podium. Remember though, Robster has run away with this one at the front. Looking back from Cubs at the BMW, the Beamer's not getting any closer, so there might be a little bit of an issue with that BMW, not quite sure. Heading through the chicane, he tries a dive, but he's nowhere near close enough to get it done. But Cubs is really slow through that section of the track. It's going to allow Unicorn to get the pair of them. There's 3 wide heading into the final sector. The Sierra just about has his nose in front. Rixie's the last of the late breakers, holds the inside line. The Sierra's on the outside now. The BMW's got trap position. No, he's not. The Sierra sweeps across the front and gets up onto the podium paying position, but Rixie and the Beamer is still there. He tries to send it down the inside. The Sierra runs a little bit wide, heading through the final corner to put another lap in the book. So Rixie, in the space of 1 lap, loses 2 positions, and thanks to the fighting, look at the gap that Crony's got already. You can't even see the Sierra in front. Back with the battle of Volvos further behind. You got Goat versus Boar. These guys have been fighting all season so far. You had a decent fight to Hockenheim, a decent fight to Bathurst. They're about to have a good fight here at Le Mans. As it looks like Cubs has gone really slow today. He's brought right off the back of Rixie, the BMW. Ninja's trying to chuck it down the inside, doesn't quite get the move done. Boar's on the inside there as well, so heading through the Dunlop chicane. Boar's just on the inside. Will he be able to get the position on Ninja? Just about. The Volvo's already lost one of the headlights. The pair are side by side, heading through the bottom hairpin on towards the Bugatti circuit, and Ninja down the position. He's now got Rob Racer right behind him, but Ninja's trying to come back at the fellow Volvo driver. Again, the only difference between these cars is setup. They're mechanically identical. The Volvos have had a bit of a BOP adjustment to Bathurst to give them a little bit more power, a little bit more grip, try and help that turn in. But this is not going to help either of them in a fight against an equal car. They're still side by side. More than half a lap so far side by side between these two Volvos. Boar just about gets the nose in front and gets the position after a decent run side by side as the fog comes down here at Le Mans. So Ninja now trying to hang on against Rob Racer in the Sierra behind. He just hangs on. This is on board with Boar though. He's going to be going for a position on Cubs. He's closing, using the power of that Volvo. He's getting as close as he can, heading in towards that chicane. Where's Cubs has gone missing there? Cubs has gone off, he's gone wide. So Cubs has messed up that chicane a little bit similar to what Rixie did, and that's given Boar a position for free. Will it allow Ninja through as well? Ninja's got through, and there's the Alpha getting spat out towards the exit. So he might have a bit of an issue, just gets it back on track. This though is the guy who's going to come across the line to take the win for round number 5 of the championship. It is Kenzie who's going to take victory here at Le Mans for round number 5 of the Autobrite Direct Touring Car Legends Series. Heading through the final corner now, you do have Robster in front. Unfortunately, the cameras didn't pick up the overtake for the lead, but it is Kenzie who takes the win in round number 5 of the championship. Robster did end up coming home in 2nd place. Retro Rixie rounded out the podium with Unicorn in 3rd. Coroni came home 5th. The Eyeball 6th, leading home a Volvo pairing of Ninja Goat in 7th. Rob Racer came home 8th. Cubs having run as high as 3rd, finished 9th. KB Racer, the top and driver, in 10th in the Volvo. 11th is Millsy White, and rounding out the top 12 is Maddest Dog Pete. As is customary, it's going to be a full reverse grid for round number 6 of the championship. That's going to promote It's Noodles and JGK onto the front row. Devil's Boogeyman and Penfold filling out row number 2. Row 3 will see the Sierra of Sir Nuts alongside the Alfa Romeo of Maddest Dog Pete. Race 2 is also going to have the added difficulty of it being at night. The lights are on, night has fallen, and let's go racing for round number 6 of the championship. So ready to go racing for round number 6 of the championship. Good start there from the Alfa Romeo. Blistering start actually from the Alfa Romeo. He goes straight through to first position. So it's an Alfa Romeo first, Alfa Romeo 2 as Maddest Dog Pete's got through there as well, and he's challenging Penfold for the lead. So it's Alpha 1, Alpha 2, side by side, heading through turn number 1 for the first time. It's pretty much flat out at this point. Penfold on the inside, Pete on the outside. Looking further back, you've got Millsy now challenging for 3rd, but it's Penfold who comes through to take the lead away from Mad Dog Pete. Boogeyman there goes through for 3rd place. It looked like there was a few cars getting spat out towards the outside of the circuit. So a few guys got already on a recovery drive as Millsy now trying to hang on from, I believe that's Nuts there, in one of the Sierras. Heading through the bottom end of the circuit, you've got Millsy now coming under real pressure from the guys behind him, but it is still an Alpha 1-2 at the start of this race with Boogeyman up there in 3rd place. The Bastos Sierra now right down the inside. So that is the number 6 car, that is Nuts, has got himself up the order. Cubs as well has got himself up the order pretty quickly as well. Penfold is that leads though from Maddest Dog Pete in 2nd place. A pair of these guys not had a decent result so far in the Touring Car Legends, and they're going to go for a decent one here tonight. A little bit further back, you've got the Battle of Volvos. You've got a pair of Sierras going at it as well. The Volvos aren't teammates, the Sierras are. Unicorn's chucked it down the inside. Nuts, he's going to get the position. That's going to force Goat out a little bit too far wide. That's going to allow Rixie to get down the inside of the Sierra. So one teammate trying to gain a position has ended up with his fellow teammate losing 2 positions, possibly 3, as I think Robster's in that fight as well. So Rob's around the outside of Nuts and trying to go around the outside of Rixie as well. That's going to be a brave move, while in turn, Unicorn's gained 2 positions. He's got past Rixie, he's got past Ninja, and Rob's to now get past Nuts in the Sierra. So his teammates' actions there causing his teammate to lose 2 positions. He's off on the grass as well. That's not going to help his case. A little bit further up there, you've got Crony as well, getting in the fight with Kenty further up as well. You've got KB trying to get past Millsy. This is a battle of a Pro-Am versus an Am driver. KB leading the Am Championship. Every position he can get here will help his Am Championship status, simply because the Pro-Ams and the Ams, they still score points in the same order. So an Am winning his class, finishing in 10, scores points at 10th position. So every position he can make, it's in his own best interest to try and make them, especially when Devil's Boogeyman and Mad Dog Pete are so far up the order. They're currently running 2nd and 3rd. I believe KB's there in 5th or 6th, so trying to get as far up the order right now is really going to help his championship case, especially this early in the season. A little bit further up, it looks like though Boogeyman is about to lose position to Cubs, so Cubs is about to do, it's not Cubs, it's Crony is going to help out KB. Cubs is going to help him out as well, and there goes Millsy round the outside as well. Looks like KB's going to get past his championship rival. The pair of them side by side, heading down the back, heading down under the Dunlop Bridge. You've got Cubs and Crony going at it as well, but you've got Boogeyman just holds on and ends up with KB getting spat out. I believe he's down the order, he's not there in that picture. You've got Millsy now versus Unicorn, trying to hang on down the inside the BMW versus the Sierra. You've got KB, you've got Ninja go in front of this in the Volvo. KB just at back a shot, so he's still in this fight as well, but he's a little bit further behind the pair of these guys as Unicorn just gets in front of Millsy. Millsy around the outside though, we saw this happen in the pro lobby, just about got it stopped. Now Millsy just gets it stopped there as the Volvo this time really is spat out and loses a handful of positions. So with his championship rivals a little bit further up the field, it's really not going to be helping his case as Robster now tries to get past Rixie. He's had a good start and he's starting to get up the order, especially after coming 2nd in the first race. Rixie now on the grass, he goes all sorts of sideways, and Robster now gets into the side on him, so really doesn't help the BMW's case. The Alfa Romeo now right on the back of one of the other Sierras. That looks like Rob Racer trying to hang on there against Robster, while KB's trying to get back in this fight as well against Nuts. The Sierra's on the inside, Robster around the outside in the Alfa Romeo. The Alfa's got superior grip and just gets the position. We're only a couple of laps into this as Nuts gets into the back of the 88's Alfa Romeo. We're only a couple of laps into this. You can see how battle scarred that Alfa Romeo is already, so elbows are definitely out throughout the field. Rixie now trying to send it down the inside of Rob Racer, trying to get the position back. Heading down the main straight though, Rixie's about to lose out to Robster by the looks of it. KB in the Volvo, dragging past the championship contender, the Am driver versus Pro-Am. Look at the pace of that Volvo in a straight line. That's one thing these cars do have going for them. He's going to send it on the BMW as well, is he? He's getting closer, he's going to go for it, he's gone for it. The Volvo sends it on the BMW. The Volvo's really good down, it's pretty good down the straights, not a favourable car through the corners. A little bit further up, you've got Crony now fighting with Pete and Cubs. Pete and Cubs, the pair of Alfa Romeos are going at each other. The pair make contact, a little bit rubbing, you can see the sparks flying. Now we're racing at night, but the Matt Black Mad Dog Pete car has lost out to the Michelle Westby sponsored Cubs 1979 in the Alfa Romeo in front, but the pair of them run wide. Is this going to allow the Volvo Ninja to get down the inside, potentially bring Unicorn into this one as well? So what was a 2-car fight is now a 4-car fight. Correction, is now a 3-car fight. Cubs are checked out at the front. Pete having a decent race at the moment, gets sent by Unicorn. Unicorn gets one position, he goes for a second one. He might get two cars in 2 corners, but Pete just about hangs on in the Alfa Romeo. Awesome driving there to keep that on. You can see the novice cross. He is in his first season of Team Hard Online Racing, but he is about to lose a position, I believe, to the Volvo down the inside. That must be the only car that can drag past him at this point. That Volvo, the BTC Racing inspired livery, ridiculously quick in a straight line, has the Sierra all over the rear bumper of it. So that Volvo, a massive target for the Sierra, but it's a massive car to try and get past. Nose to tail heading through the final sector to put another lap in the book. You've got Pete, Ninja, Unicorn, that's how close they are. Heading through the final corner, Pete still hanging on, but the Volvo sends it down the inside. A little bit of a tag there, a little bit of a slide. The Alfa Romeo gets it all crossed up, but gets it back in a straight line. So heading through the bottom corner, you've got Skyline versus Volvo. The Skyline in a different livery this time out. The Repsol-sponsored Skyline of UKOG Crony coming under pressure from the white and green Volvo of DI Born in the Team Hard-sponsored car. But you've got to be careful, as it looks like you've got Cubs in the background as well. Cubs also running some new sponsors after his title sponsor Shut Up Shop. He's now wearing the colours of Michelle Westby behind him, but he's now got a couple of positions square in his sights, heading down into bottom double right-hander. Boar's going to close right up onto the back of Crony. Crony's run wide. This might be Boar's chance to try and get down the inside. Not quite close enough. Boar himself runs wide. That's going to leave him under threat from the Alfa Romeo. You can see the rear of that Volvo lit up like a Christmas tree from the headlights of the Alfa Romeo. Boar's nowhere near close enough to Crony to be able to use the straight line speed advantage of that Volvo. If he's going to try and go for a move this lap, it's going to have to be a proper send. And a send it is. He goes for the move. He gets right up onto the rear bumper of the Skyline, but he doesn't get a decent exit. That's going to bring the Alfa Romeo into this one. So Cubs in the Alfa Romeo is right on the rear bumper now of the Volvo, heading into the final sector. This is where the Alfa's strong compared to the Volvo and the Nissan. It's a better handling car. The Alphas have had a power deficit, a little bit of BOP to slow them down this time. The Volvo has got a little bit more power, a little bit more grip to try and bring it closer to the rest of the field. But the Alpha swarming. The Volvo has got down the inside into the final corner, but the Volvo has got the power. The Volvo should be able to drag away from that Alfa Romeo. You can see the Cubs has to slot back in behind that massive tank of a car to try and hang on towards that position. But you can see how far Crony's got just from that one little bit of fighting. So fighting in this field with cars matched as closely as they are can be the real downfall if you're trying to cut through the field like some of these guys are. But Cubs now right on the rear bumper of Boy. He's using all of the track to try and get past that Volvo. The Alpha may have to be a little bit wary of maybe a track limits penalty if he's not as careful as he could be. But Boy just hangs on to position. Cubs backs out of it. Boy uses the curb to try and hang on. Cubs right under the rear bumper. He moves to the inside. He's squirming either side of that Volvo, trying to let Boar know, look at me, I'm here, look in your mirrors, make a mistake, I'm here mate, I'm here, I'm trying to get past you. Doesn't quite have the pace though to get past him. Boar is soaking up the pressure right now. Being at night, the lights on the rear view mirror can be a little bit dazzling. It's a lot harder to ignore a car that's behind you. But Boar sends it down the inside to try and hold on to the position. The pair of them are trying to make a brand new racetrack here. They obviously don't like the shape of that hairpin. They don't want it to be a double right-hander. They want it to be a nice smooth hairpin. So submit that once the planning permission, guys. But that's definitely not the track limits of this circuit. You need to be careful, lads. You could pick up a penalty. Heading in towards the bottom chicane. Boar just hangs on. Penfold now versus Kenty. Penfold's led the majority of this race. Kenty has come off the back of the grid. Kenty won race one, so he's had to fight his way through the field like a few guys have tried, and now he's only got one car in front of him that's separating him from victory. Through the final couple of corners, he's caught right up onto the back of Penfold. These cars mechanically identical, but again, it's down to the driver, it's down to the way that car is set up, and it looks like Kenty is definitely gelled with that Alfa Romeo compared to Penfold in front. Penfold's had a decent run so far though, but he might just about be able to hold on from the round 5 winner. Through the flat out turn number 1 in towards the Dunlop chicane. Penfold goes really defensive. You've got Kenty trying to throw it around the outside. Penfold's not going to quite have the optimum line there, and Kenty goes around the outside to take the lead, heading under the Dunlop bridge. Awesome move there from Kenty. Last to first, and he's got through to take the lead of the race. Heading into the final couple of laps onto the Bugatti circuit. Kenty and the Alfa Romeo leads from Penfold in second. The thing for Penfold now is he needs to be careful. He might have Crony come up behind him in the Skyline to take away second position. So he needs to try and stick to the rear of that Alfa Romeo as best he can to try and solidify second place. I did say it might happen, and Crony's caught right up onto the back of Penfold. He fancies a late dive. He's really good at these sort of moves. He's right on the rear bumper of that Alfa Romeo, heading down to the Dunlop Bridge. This is where Penfold lost the lead a few laps ago, and he might now be about to lose second position. Penfold goes defensive straight away. Crony goes for a wide line in. He's going to go for the cutback, maybe get a decent move on the inside in towards the next hairpin as they double back on themselves. Crony locked under the rear wing of that Alfa Romeo. The RCIB insurance car just about has the legs on the Skyline, so Crony has to think a little bit better of it. You can see the Repsol car was thinking of going for a dive in that hairpin, but he had to think better of it. Penfold now needs to drive the line, go a little bit defensive against that Skyline, but the Skyline's already got the nose down the inside. Crony going through for second place. Penfold down to third, Crony up to second in the Automation Repsol Alpha Nissan Skyline. Down the straight, you can already see he's starting to build a gap on board with Crony. You already can't see Kenty. That's how fast he's been able to get away in the Alfa Romeo in front. But Penfold's not done. He's still under the rear wing of that Skyline. Penfold's not going to lose this second position without a fight. He's going to try and go for it down into this bottom section of the circuit. Will he be able to be close enough to go for a dive? He thinks about it. He gets a little bit closer. But Crony looks like he's just about got him covered. We've seen Alfa Romeos go from last to first before. That's in the Pro lobby. This time it's in the AM lobby. Kenty comes across the line to win round number 6 of the championship. 2 wins in two races for the Alfa Romeo driver. Second went the way of UKOG Crony. Ninjago ended up filling out the podium in the Volvo. Retro Rixie came home 5th with Penfold having started towards the front and led for a good portion of the lap, finishing in 5th. Rob Racer came home 6th, Cubs in 7th, KB Racing, the top-hand driver, in 8th place. 9th went the way of Robster. Maddox Dog Pete, after a good run towards the front of the field, came home 10th. 11th was Pro-Am driver D.I. Bohr in the Volvo, with Cernuts rounding out the top 12. So what have those races done for the championship? Well, it's giving Kenty in the Alfa Romeo a massive 70-point lead on UKOG Crony in 2nd place. Crony now holds a 14-point advantage over Retro Rixie, who moves up to 3rd, with Robster just a point behind in 4th. Ninjago is a little bit outside of this title fight so far, but he rounds out the top 5 for Volvo. In the AM Championship, it's KB Racing that still holds the lead on 229, 57 points clear of Maddox Dog Pete's in 2nd. Cernuts moves up to 3rd place in his battle with Devil's Boogeyman on 151 versus 146 respectively. It's Noodles gained some points, but still holds 5th on 110. So the next time we see the Touring Car Legends is when we head to the Nürburgring in Germany for round number 4 of the championship. If you like what you see and you want to see more, you want to stay up to date with the Touring Car Legends series, don't forget to like, share and subscribe to the channel, and don't forget to hit the bell notification so you don't miss out on our latest uploads. See you at the Nürburgring.